Okay, so you have thought long and hard about it, and you've done all of your research, and you finally decided you want to become a dog groomer. Which avenue do you take? Do you go storefront? Do you go mobile? Or do you do that at-home side hustle? All that coming up in this episode of the Grooming by Rudy podcast.
You're listening to the Grooming by Rudy podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. For those of you who don't know us, we are Rudy V and Anthony Ray. We are father and son dog grooming duo, and we are here to teach you guys all about dog grooming because we love talking about it. So welcome back to the show.
I didn't sleep a wink last night. I don't know why. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. My wife goes to the gym very early, and Actually, you know what? It's her fault. She dropped something in the sink. It woke me up.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah. But the thing is like I wake up a lot when she leaves, and I just couldn't fall back to sleep. So I just like tossed and turned. That's it. I think I got like 3 hours last night.
Really?
So you guys better like this episode because I am tired.
He's tired.
So tired.
But he's still doing it. I mean, that's how much we love doing the show. Then 3 hours sleep, we're still sitting here talking to you guys. So that just proves how much we really care about you and how much we want to teach you about dog grooming. But 3 hours sleep, you know what it is though, Anthony? I'm telling you, there's a lot of like backstory about our calendar, you know.
Really?
It throws people off.
Wasn't there like some sort of eclipse or something?
There was an eclipse right on my birthday, February 17th. There was an eclipse. So, yeah, it was a solar eclipse, and it was called what do they call it? The Ring of Fire. It was called a Ring of Fire eclipse, and it's supposed to get a lot of energy. For those of you guys that believe in that, I certainly do.
I certainly had a lot of energy at 4:30 in the morning because I couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the eclipse. It was the Ring of Fire.
It was the Ring of Fire eclipse. And guess what? It's going to last all the way up until like the 20th, right?
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And all that. It's a good time to just kind of absorb all of that planetary energy, guys. And we won't get into that because we're just going to do a horoscope podcast instead of a dog grooming podcast. But maybe we could merge the two, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been curious if like dogs have horoscopes.
Oh,
not the crazy, horoscope app stuff where it's like, hey, sell your house tomorrow if you're Sagittarius. Not that. Like, I mean more like the energy aspect of it is usually pretty on the money.
Sell your house tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like I feel anytime somebody says they don't believe in horoscopes, I feel like that's what they mean. Like, we're not talking about like, the apps that tell you what to do with your life. It's more the personality traits seem to a lot of the time be pretty.
But right now there's a Sagittarius out there going, honey, I knew it.
Put
the house up for sale. I just watched these guys on a dog grooming podcast. Yeah. I told you we should be selling this house.
But where will we go? It doesn't matter. The horoscope says so. Not that stuff. But yeah, dog like horoscope personality traits. I wonder if that's a thing.
I believe that. I definitely believe that. I think dogs definitely have personalities based on when they were born. Come on, they have to. I don't know. That's what I believe.
Good enough for us. Good enough for them, I think.
Absolutely. Anyway, guys, let's get into this show. Okay, so you decided you want to be a dog groomer. Okay, all right. Listen. It's a tough decision to make, right? Because it's a difficult decision to make because dog grooming is difficult, right? So which way should you go? Let's start off with Storefront. All right, that's what we have, so we know all too well about having a storefront. First and foremost, guys, let's talk about the expense. You're gonna need rent money, and just like anything else. Even if you were like renting an apartment, they're going to ask for first and last month. There may be, you're going to carry insurance, high insurance, depending on where you live and the size of your store. You're going to have to incorporate utilities, CAM charges. CAM means common area maintenance charges. That's short. CAM is short for that. You're going to have to incorporate a lot of upfront expenses, right? Not including your dog grooming equipment, your cages, your dryers, your tables, your clippers, your shears, your blades, your shampoo. All right, listen, it sounds scary, but it's not, okay? Because once you get all that stuff situated, now you could be a dog groomer. Now you could start to groom dogs. But I would think that initially, on average, you're going to need about $10,000 of upfront money for a storefront.
Scary but exciting. A new venture like that is, I like to believe that it try to lean into the excitement a little bit more. But with a storefront too, one of the most super convenient things in dog grooming is that the people come to you. That's the way we've always done things, and it's very, very convenient to sort of just have an establishment that you go to, and that's where the grooming takes place. It's, if you were to choose the route that we'll talk about a little later, which is the at-home hustle, it's different because now you're kind of working where you live, but this is sort of like it separates your real life from your home space, and you just have your grooming space, and that's your facility. It's all different sizes, of course. There's some big stores, some small ones, but that's a big convenience is that your customers are coming to you, and you're rather than if you're mobile and you're going to them, or if you're at your house. Although they're coming to you at your house too, but just the separation aspect of it is good there.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind they're dropping their dog off, and the dog's going to stay with you for a good period of time. But with that being said, another good point of having a storefront is you can hire people, right? You can rent out tables, you can have other groomers come in and groom, and whatever the deal is, 50-50 or something like that, whatever you guys work out, or you can have someone who specializes in certain things. So if you have other groomers there, you might have a couple of groomers that are good at doing poodles, and maybe this person is good at doing terriers, and you might have another groomer that's doing a great job on larger breeds, Samoyeds, Huskies, and they like doing the bigger breeds, and you have that option. You can kind of incorporate that with the storefront, depending on how much room you have. So that's another a plus.
Specializing in big breeds, that ain't us.
No.
Well, maybe it once was, but
you pay them well.
Geez, just hearing the word Samoyed, it just sends shivers. We used to do a few of them. They're so sweet, but oh my god, that hair, what a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I had mentioned a pro about having a storefront, but there's also there's some cons to it too, like cleaning. Depending on the size of your store, we have a big store here. So we're cleaning all the time. If you like cleaning, some people do enjoy cleaning, then you're probably going to love that aspect of it. But, having a storefront means more space to clean as opposed to having a mobile van where it's sort of like this concentrated space in a vehicle that it's just not going to take you nearly as long to clean as it would a storefront. If you have a smaller store, you get it done a little bit quicker, but there is that. The cleaning is, we clean at the end of every day, and then we do a little bit of a deeper cleaning at the end of every week, and then once a month we do sort of like a glance at the whole place. So our place is extremely clean because we sort of triple down on everything. So definitely get used to cleaning. Another sort of con, but it's also it could be positive is you're gonna get like foot traffic if you have a storefront. You're gonna have which is good for business. It's good that especially like if you're in a mall, it's like one of those strip malls like we are, and there's some good stores in your mall. You're gonna get people who are just stopping by the mall for lunch, and they notice your store and they go, oh, there's a groomer there. Let's go talk to them. Let's go meet them. Because we were thinking of getting a dog, or you want to try them out. You live locally, whatever. But that does become a con sometimes because if you don't have like a receptionist, which not a whole lot of groomers have, it's just sort of an expense that isn't quite in many groomers' budget. Well, some of them do, but a lot of groomers are sort of answering their own phones and dealing with their own foot traffic. So if you have a dog on the table, the inconvenience of that when you have somebody sort of who's just not your customer coming in to inquire, it could become very difficult depending on the layout of your store. You might have to put the dog back away and have that conversation with them if you can't sort of speak to them from the table. And even if you are speaking from them to them from the table, it's not like you could work on the dog. That's not safe. So you can save yourself the backache of having to take the dog back off the table, but you're still putting those clippers down and now talking to somebody while you have a dog on the table. So it can get pretty stressful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So these are a couple of things that you could, look into and know that, there are many other aspects to owning a storefront. We're just kind of giving a roundabout on all of these things just to give you a rough idea what you could expect. Okay. So there are some really good points. There are some negative points to having a storefront. I like what Anthony said before. It kind of gives you like a job to go to. It's like it separates your life a little bit. You have a store. It's like, okay, you're going to your job. So that's a really good part of having a storefront. All right, so number 2, let's get into mobile grooming. Okay, guys, mobile grooming is just all the rave right now, right? Because it's necessary, okay? Mobile grooming is just necessary. A lot of dogs can't really be far from their house, or they have separation anxiety, or they have certain issues where, maybe you have some elderly people who have a dog and they really can't get the dog to a storefront, so they call a mobile groomer. So mobile groomers are really growing. It's a great field to get into, okay? But again, comes with its expenses, okay? If you're going to open up a mobile grooming store, a mobile grooming grooming area.
What do you call a mobile grooming business?
A mobile grooming business.
What were you going to say? A mobile grooming area? Or a mobile grooming store?
I apologize, guys. All right. So
you didn't sleep good either.
I didn't. I think I slept too much. I had like 10 hours of sleep. And so my brain is just really foggy. So a mobile grooming business, okay, if you decide to open a mobile grooming business, talk expenses, think expenses. The mobile grooming vans can be very, very pricey. You can get a used one for like $50,000. I've seen them for $30,000, but trust me, you're just getting what you pay for. If you're really going to do it right, look to spend $100,000, right? You could look into at least some of them are $200,000. Some of them are $300,000. I mean, they can be very, very expensive. Check out Wagon Tails. If you go to wagontails.com, you can get a better idea of how much some of the vans are. With that being said, you also have, van maintenance. You have to maintain these vans. The generators alone could be very, very expensive. The $3,500, $7,000, depending on what kind of generator you get. And believe me, the more expensive ones are the ones that, do a little bit more. They're more convenient. You can also rent them. But again, maintenance on the vehicle, insurance, inspection, you still have to do all of the same things. You're just putting out, a lot of money. And you don't have to put out all the money at once, too. You could put a down payment on a mobile grooming van and pay it off. But yeah, there is that expense.
And then you got gas and drive time. It's that saying, time is money and all that. How long do you want to be on the road versus grooming, so that you can get through your day. So what I see a lot of mobile groomers do, and especially the ones that I know who have told me this, is that a lot like landscapers, like the best situation to be in is like grouping your clients best you could. It's like when you do one client's dog and their neighbor inquires, then maybe now you could just get their dog too, and now you're kind of on that bit. If you get 3 or 4, you never know how it depends on how many people have dogs on the block. But like you could find yourself spending your entire day on just one block, and now you're cutting down on drive time and gas and all that because you're sort of just pulling up to this block and working your whole day there, and you're done. You're going back home. But a big thing that comes with that is like if you like you just said, like if you're pulling up in a piece of garbage truck. If you're lucky enough to get one person to agree to let you groom their dog in a hunk of junk, you're probably lessening your chances of any of their neighbors being like. As a matter of fact, if any of their neighbors are interested in mobile grooming, they're probably going to tell them, "Hey, I know a groomer who has a much nicer van." So presentation is like key with that.
Yeah, that's a great point, guys. You could be the best groomer in the world, but again, if you have that $35,000 grooming van that looks like crap, people are just not going to call you. So again, that van has to look nice, and it costs more money for a nicer van. So I highly suggest that you wait, get a better van. Don't get a piece of crap. It's just not worth it, guys, no matter how good of a groomer you are. With that being said, also, you have to, you're a one-man show in that van too. So, and you have to get used to being in a little bit more of a confined space, right? So with that being said, you got to be careful. Like, you don't want a 120-pound aggressive Rottweiler and you're trapped in the van with them. That's not funny at all.
I saw Cujo. You don't want to be like Cujo, but like this time the dog's in the car with you.
Right. Yeah. You have to be very, very careful with that, guys. And you mobile groomers out there know what I'm talking about. You got to be careful. You're in this small confined space. If you have an aggressive dog and you have a storefront, you can kind of get away. You can grab the dog, put him in a crate. If you're in a van, you got to be a little bit more careful with that, So, but
that never occurred to me.
Yeah,
that's an element. That's definitely an element. Some dogs are aggressive.
They can be.
That never even occurred to me that's a kind of a challenge that mobile groomers have, where you are in this confined space with a dog. You might be there with a dog that doesn't like you very much.
Right. And with that one-on-one though, also as the client, you're getting that one-on-one service. Okay, they're just working on your dog. So again, that's a big plus to the client.
A lot of groomers do things a different way. We don't let the dogs mingle. We seriously. We recommend no groomer ever let dogs mingle. That's just not a good idea. So having one-on-one time is for the client. Now you're just doubling down on that safety because your dog's not mingling with other dogs, and there's not even really another dog around. It's just the groomer is just completely focused on your one dog, as opposed to a storefront where you're going to have, depending on what the workload you can handle, you could anywhere from 6 dogs to 15 dogs to 20 dogs, depends on how long your day is and how many people you have on staff. But one-on-one time is that's like a gold standard awesomeness for a client, where you just know your dog's getting all the attention.
Yeah, and with the one-on-one time, expect to pay more. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You have to expect to pay more
For sure. The mobile grooming is it's not really a secret. Mobile grooming is much more expensive than bringing your pet to a storefront, for the obvious reasons. It's the convenience for the client, that you don't have to put your dog in your car and drive across town, or in some cases, some of our customers drive 40 minutes to come to us. So if you fall in love with your groomer like that, you're avoiding all of that by your groomer coming to your house. So it's probably double, I would say.
Expect to pay double. If you're charging $75, $80 for a small dog haircut, a Shih Tzu, a Bichon, a Poodle, expect to pay at least $150, maybe even more, depending on where you live.
But now that'll make sense to you, because it's not just a convenience. Because look at what we laid out for you money-wise that it costs you to start a storefront, and then listen to what it costs to get into a good mobile grooming van. So your mobile groomer, especially if they're first starting out, they are in the red. So that $150 that you're paying for convenience, now you're kind of getting a little bit better of an understanding of some of these prices you might be hearing from these mobile groomers. They're not being jerks. It's just, that's what it costs. It costs a lot of money to start a mobile grooming area, as my dad would say.
Mobile. But guys, seriously, if you want to learn more about mobile grooming, check out our friend Laura Ventura from Pawz and All. We will leave a link to her YouTube channel in the description, but Laura will talk extensively about mobile grooming. She's a mobile groomer, and she's a damn good mobile groomer and knows what she's talking about. So again, if you want to learn more about mobile grooming areas, check out Laura Ventura from Pawz and All. Again, we'll leave her link in the description below.
Laura's awesome. You should definitely check out her mobile grooming area.
Yeah, she knows a lot about it. So.
Yeah, it's really good insights into what that's like.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into number 3, the at-home side hustle groomer. Guys, listen, this is also another avenue that's kind of just coming up, It's just coming up because more and more people grooming at home. They just are. And they're turning it into businesses. We get it all the time. We get comments on our YouTube channel, on the Grooming by Rudy YouTube channel, comments all the time. Started watching your videos. I've been grooming ever since. It happens, guys. So if you are the at-home side hustle groomer and that's what you chose to do, and a lot of times it's a good way to start, right? You can maybe progress if you get good and you're doing more dogs. Maybe you can progress and you decide to go storefront or you decide to go mobile. The at-home groomer is a good way to start. But with that being said, you got to be careful, guys. It's still one of the things that will happen is you'll get caught up in legal issues, okay? If you're grooming out of your garage, depending on where you live, there could be zoning issues. There can be permit issues. You have to be very, very careful with this kind of stuff. You don't want to establish this huge clientele and then all of a sudden say, hey, I can't groom anymore. I can't groom your dog because, I'm not zoned for it.
And then the insurance aspect.
Yeah.
Which is like you can't do this without insurance. God forbid something happens to a dog or you or even because now people are coming to your house now. You are so liable for that. You're liable anyway as a groomer, whether you have a storefront or a mobile grooming business. But I feel like that insurance might be overlooked a lot of times if you're doing the at-home hustle thing because you just figure, hey, I'm doing it at my house. I'm just doing it on my own free will, helping out some friends, and they give me money for it. But you can get so screwed if something happens, knock on wood. So yeah, don't overlook that. If you're zoned and you could do it legally and all the other stuff checks out, make sure you have insurance. It's so important, the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, one of the benefits to just doing this is that, you don't have that overhead if you're doing out of your house or doing it out of your garage. You don't have that just high expensive overhead where, you're putting out, $10,000, $15,000 for a storefront or more for mobile grooming. But you are going to still have bills, okay? And you're still going to have to, have your zoning and your insurance, like Anthony said. And also another thing that you'll have to do is make sure that you have inspections. You'll still have to get inspected and everything because, again, it's just a big legal issue. You don't want to do anything illegal. You just don't.
You're definitely still going to have expenses, like you said. Wait till you see that water bill when you're bathing 6 dogs. 10 dogs in the same day. Your electric bill going to take a bit of a hit when you got those dryers running to dry these dogs. So there's definitely still expensive, but 100% more profitable without any kind of overhead stuff. And like you said before, I feel like a lot of groomers start this way. It is a good way to start. You can always progress to a storefront or a mobile grooming area. But yeah, it's a fun way to start because you're doing friends and neighbors. You're doing acquaintances, your friends. So the pressure is a little bit off. And if it's your friends, they know you're just starting, so they're not expecting some sort of show grooming quality cut. So you could learn it pretty well. But yeah, it's a good place to start if you've decided 100% that you're going to be a groomer, but you don't have $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to get going in a storefront, or you don't have $100,000 to get. And let's be honest, how many people have $100,000 to just be like, I want to be a mobile groomer? So it's a common way that groomers start. Just tell a couple of your friends about it, a couple of your neighbors, tell them not to expect a whole lot. And but get started. It's good. Just like we're telling you, make sure you do it correctly, legally, and safely. That's really
get your permits.
Yeah.
All of that, your tub permits, all of the your electrical permits, you have to do all that.
Yeah.
But the one common thread in any of these 3 things is you're going to have to be a good dog groomer. Okay. So no matter what you choose, storefront, mobile, at home, you have to be a good dog groomer. You have to try to, have that good craft and know what you're doing either way on any 3 of the categories. You just have to be a good dog groomer, and you'll be a better dog groomer if you watch our videos. So continue to watch the Grooming by Rudy videos. We're here to help you.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us for this episode, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. You could also go and check out our other YouTube channel. It's called Grooming by Rudy. We have lots of helpful pet grooming tutorials for you over there as well. Also, go to petedge.com, use promo code Rudy5, save $5 off of any purchases of $100 or more. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out with us. Until next time, take care.